Hello everyone, Dr. Leslie Phillips here. I hope that you've been enjoying this short program on the healing power of intuition. You've now reached the third and final element of this program, and what we're going to be doing now is focusing on 7 steps that you can take to really help you unblock your intuition so that you can access it much more easily and more readily and use it to enhance your life. So let's start by asking the question, what is intuition? This is the dictionary definition. It says it's the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. And actually, it's a pretty good definition because that's what intuition is. It is instant access to your higher information. It can come in many ways, but it definitely does not involve conscious reasoning. And here's a great quote from a famous scientist I'm sure you recognize, Albert Einstein. And he said, "The rational mind is a faithful servant, and the intuitive mind is a sacred gift." And we've created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. And I completely agree with him that we've got it topsy-turvy, we've got it upside down. We put the intellect first, and quite a lot of us don't even believe in intuition, when in actual fact your intuition can help you instantly access an infinite amount of information. Anything that you could ever wish to know, you can access it with your intuitive mind. And Albert Einstein himself and many of his contemporary scientists used their intuition a lot. He got E equals mc squared in a dream, not with his logical, rational mind, actually. So why might you want to awaken your intuition? What reasons might make sense for you? So there are plenty of spiritual reasons why awakening your intuition might be a good idea. And of course, we've talked a lot about on this course about life purpose. It's one of the most common questions all human beings have. Why am I here? What is the nature of reality? What's my contribution that I can make in the world? If you focus on developing and awakening your intuition, it will help you to really get to know your own answers. It will give you access to your higher guidance. It will help you to get to know yourself much more deeply and have much greater clarity about who you are and why you're here, and guide you on your path forward in your life journey. And as you get to know yourself more deeply, you might become aware of some of the limits that you are imposing on yourself through your belief system. And once you're aware of that, you can actually change it. And so all of those positive changes can result in you feeling much more confident about yourself and empowered, because you're consciously choosing your path and your life direction. And there are lots of emotional reasons for developing your intuition as well. And there's 2 reasons for that. Of course, one of the main ways of developing your intuition is through meditation. And we all know that meditation has been proven to help with stress relief and letting go of anxiety. And your intuition can help you with that as well, because as you become more self-aware, you'll be able to know why you are stressed out, why you are afraid, what's causing it, and let go of what's causing it. And if you're resisting making changes in your life, well, what's the block? Your intuition can help you understand that. And once you're able to know yourself better and deal with your own emotional challenges. It can lead to improved relationships, and your improved understanding of the people that you're in relationship with through your intuition can also help improve your relationships, and your better self-knowledge and confidence can mean that you can set better emotional boundaries. There are also many physical benefits to you working on awakening your intuition, because you are beginning to operate on an energy level, to understand yourself on an energy level. And so you can become aware of what has caused you to develop a particular illness, and you can, through your intuition, be releasing what's caused it and working with your body on an energetic level to help you heal faster. The reduced stress and anxiety can mean that you sleep a lot better, and all of these conscious energy management techniques that you will learn when you develop your intuition can help you manage and release and let go of pain. And then all the energy that's been tied up in the stress and the anxiety and the illness and the pain and the limiting beliefs, once you let go of that, you can experience an increase in your energy, because you're no longer tying up your energy in those ways. And so it can have an overall profound effect on your physical system. And not only are there benefits on a spiritual, emotional, and physical level, there are reasons for your mental health why awakening your intuition is a good idea. It can really help increase your focus, increase your clarity, and improve your memory. You can actually access any information through your intuition. So there is no such thing as a forgotten memory, because you can call it up. You can recall it through your intuition. And all of the improved clarity, of course, can help you make faster, better, clearer decisions. And developing your intuition and meditation helps bring you into the present moment, and that can really help reduce depression also. So just pause for a moment and think about, in any of these areas, spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental, what are the ones that you would like help with? Where do you think the biggest benefits for you might be? All right, so we've established perhaps that intuition might be a great idea, but what's the evidence? Is this a real thing? They've actually started to research this, the scientists have, over the last few years, and there's plenty of practical reasons actually for that. And one of the main areas that they're researching is doctors, nurses, and healthcare professionals. So family physicians, but also emergency medicine professionals, because these are the people who have to make split-second decisions in an instant. They don't have the luxury to spend time poring over a medical journal. If it's a life and death decision, they have to make it in a moment. And so they've been studying how this happens. They've validated that doctors do use gut feelings, insights, and intuition equally as they use their logical analysis, and they want to understand it better because perhaps they can help train the medical professionals in using their intuition to make instant decisions. And they're also looking at soldiers as well for the same reason, instant decisions in the battlefield. Now, we've all heard of women's intuition, but is that a real thing? They've done some exploration about that and actually found that 70% of women who are pregnant can accurately predict the sex of their child. And finally, there's a lot of interest lately in mindfulness and meditation in the workplace, and they've started to look at intuitive decision making in business leaders as well, and they find that close to 80% of your CEOs and your executives are saying that they're using their intuition to make quick decisions as well. So Plenty of people are already using their intuition in very practical ways in their everyday lives, even if they're not calling it intuition. It's something that we are, many of us, doing. And that begs the question, are we all intuitive, or is it just a few special individuals? Well, here's some more fun facts. 95% of people have had a déjà vu experience. Up to 98% of people say they've had a precognitive dream, and about 20% of people say they have a lucid dream at least once a month. And so 98% having had a precognitive dream, that's pretty close to everybody. And so I would say, yes, we are all intuitive. And what's interesting here is all of these experiences relate to some aspect of the dream experience. And for most of us, because we're so trained in our intellect, it's easier to access the intuition when the intellect isn't engaged, and that happens when we're asleep or when we're just dropping off to sleep. So now just take a moment to imagine what it would feel like if you could access your intuition whenever you needed, whenever you wanted, in an instant. Let's say you were having problems in your job and you were trying to decide, should I stay in this job or should I leave? Or, I'm very interested in taking a new career direction, but would that be a silly thing for me to do when I've studied and spent many years doing this other thing? Or should I go and tell my boss that I'm having trouble with this client? What should I do about this colleague that I'm not getting along with? These are everyday questions that all of us have, and we can spend a lot of time just agonizing over them. And so think about you and your job and your career right now and how it might make a difference if you could access your intuition. And what about the area of finances? Whether you're somebody who's struggling financially and struggling with your abundance, or just decisions about money, where to invest it. Should I buy this stock or that stock? Which one's more likely to go up? Should I sell my house and cash in the profit? There are many questions that you might be faced with respect to your financial situation. And, in all these decisions, what we'll often do is we'll go out and talk to a bunch of people, talk to a bunch of experts. What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? We talk to our friends, we talk to our family, we talk to advisors, and pretty soon we are overwhelmed with so many different opinions. It feels worse than before we asked for help. So what if you could just eliminate all of that and go straight to your own higher guidance? How would that feel? Same thing with health. You're suffering from a health problem. Well, how should I change my behavior? Should I change my diet? Should I exercise more? Should I sleep more? Or perhaps the doctor's told you, well, we need to take this organ out, and you don't know what to do. You can use your intuition to help you decide whether you want to follow the doctor's advice or not. And what would it feel like to always know your purpose and know the purpose in everything, all experiences that you have? Well, what was the purpose of this experience? What was the purpose of that? What can I learn from this? Your intuition can give you a higher perspective. Same thing with relationships. Relationships are such a big deal. They're such a major part of our lives. And through our lives, we go through many ups and downs with relationships, don't we? Whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's your lovers, it could really help, don't you think, to be able to have a spiritual insight into other people's motivations for doing things, into how they really feel. Some people don't communicate very well. And so your intuition can really help you with all of that. So just pause and say, wow, yes, if I could only access my intuition in an instant, how would that change my life? What areas would I most benefit? Maybe you're trying to decide, should you stay with your husband or wife, or should you leave them? Or should you marry this person or not? Should you choose this one or that one? Or why are you single? What's blocking you from having a happy, fulfilling relationship? Your intuition can help you with all of those things. All right, so grab your journal, So why might you want to awaken your intuition? What reasons might make sense for you? So there are plenty of spiritual reasons why awakening your intuition might be a good idea. And of course, we've talked a lot about on this course about life purpose. It's one of the most common questions all human beings have. Why am I here? What is the nature of reality? What's my contribution that I can make in the world? So, what blocks your intuition, and what action steps can you take to unlock it? Well, here's the first one. People often say to me, you know what, I'm just too busy. I don't have any time to devote to this, to learn to meditate, to have a regular practice that helps me access my intuition. How can I possibly find the time when my life is this busy and I am so stressed out, running here, there, and everywhere, looking after the children, looking after my parents, doing my job? I have all these responsibilities and so many other people are relying on me. I don't have 5 minutes to myself, let alone half an hour or an hour a day. My goodness me. How could you expect me to do that? And you know what? Even if I did, I wouldn't be able to sit still for 5 minutes. Or some people say, well, I've tried meditating, but, I'm so exhausted from my busy life that I just fall asleep. And, some other problems are, well, I'd like to do it, but I'm not very consistent because of my busy life. I really can't do it on a regular basis. Or I do want to do it, but I just put it off because there's this more urgent thing that I need to do. And so people these days have experienced really busy lives. Or at least they have the perception that they have a busy life. But if you want to access your intuition, it's really important that you set time aside to commit to yourself and to be able to tune out the external world and all of this busy stuff that's going on in your life and just focus inwardly. Tune out the external world and tune into your inner world. So step number 1 is develop a consistent practice. And when you develop a consistent practice, you may realize that you're actually not as busy as you thought you were. You might just be having the perception that you're busy because of the way that you're running your life and your mind is working. And when you develop a consistent meditation practice and you start to see the benefits of it, it will get easier for you. So on the left, right, the challenge is having a busy life, and the step that would help you is develop a consistent practice. Challenge number 2, I call it drunken monkeys. The Buddha said that the human mind is like a barrel of drunken monkeys, just all running around in different directions, just complete craziness. And so, maybe this reminds you of yourself. Is your mind really busy? Is it difficult for you to focus on one thing? Is it scattered? Are your thoughts all running around in different directions? Or does it just obsess and go over the same thing over and over and over and over again? Are you stuck on things that happened in the past and you can't stop thinking about them? Are you obsessed with the future and planning for events that are coming up in the future? Or are you caught in a cycle of self-criticism? Oh, I'm such a terrible person. I wish I hadn't said that. Oh, I'm going to make a mess of this. Oh, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm this, that, and the other. Or in a cycle of judging other people. It's his fault, it's her fault. My life would be better if only they fill in the blanks. So, are you suffering from drunken monkey syndrome? Do you have a crazy, busy mind that just will not stop? Because if you do, that is going to get in your way of accessing your intuition. And what you need to do is find a way to quiet your mind. So, on the left, under number 2, busy mind or monkey mind, and on the right, quiet my mind. And of course, meditation is a great way to help you to do that. If you can learn how to be centered and be the neutral observer of your thoughts, then you will no longer be controlled by your thoughts. And you can learn to enter a place of stillness so that you can access your inner information and the subtle signals of your intuition. All right, number 3, emotional basket case. Is your life a roller coaster ride of emotional ups and downs? Are you like a pincushion constantly being emotionally triggered? So this is another big one for people. Emotional overwhelm. I'm just constantly being emotionally triggered. And there are all these other people in my life who are also being constantly emotionally triggered, and they are so draining. My energy gets drained by all of this emotionality. I just go into complete overwhelm with it all. I can't cope. I can't be amongst all these people for too long. So this is dealing with the emotions. Being an emotional basket case is also something that is going to get in your way of accessing your intuition, because the emotions are not your intuition. The emotions belong to your physical body, right? They're not you. Some people get confused between their emotions and their intuition. Some people feel like a feeling like an emotion is intuition, but it isn't. Your body is a bit like a wild horse, and it can drive itself if you don't tame the wild horse, you, the spiritual consciousness, and drive it. So the emotions belong to the body, and actually those thoughts in your mind that we were just talking about also belong to your body. So when you are overrun by your thoughts, when you are overrun by your emotions, it's the body that is running the show. And so if you have uncontrollable fear, anger, grief, sadness, shame, whatever other kinds of emotions that are your constant companion, then that's going to get in your way of your intuition. And another thing that people do is they get impatient to see results. We live in such this fast-paced, quick fix environment. I want instant impact, and so I'm not prepared to spend the time to meditate. But if you do spend the time to meditate, then you will be able to calm your emotions. You will be able to tame the wild horse. You will be able to sit in the driver's seat of your life, access your internal guidance system, which is your intuition, and get your emotions into perspective, because they are communications from your body. They are not you. Oh, so write that down. Remember to write that down on the left, that being an emotional basket case is the challenge and calming your emotions is the solution. Step number 4, trying too hard, going into effort. This is a really, really, really common one. People are often trying to figure it out, trying to figure out their intuition and why isn't it working for me? Because I try so hard, I go at it every day, I've read all these books, I've listened to all these gurus, I've gone to all these workshops, I've bought crystals, I've bought card decks, I've got all these different totems and things that are meant to help me with my intuition, and why isn't it working? Well, it isn't working because here's another clue. If you are trying really hard, that is not you, the spiritual consciousness, that's your body again. Everything the body does involves effort. Everything in physical reality that involves something that's physical involves effort and energy to do it. But when you're operating as spirit, which is not limited by time and space, there is no effort. There is absolutely zero effort involved in intuition. And so if you're trying hard to access your intuition, it's not going to work. What will actually work is the opposite of that, is to relax and release all of your efforts and let go of your need to control things. Allow everything to unfold in its own time. So, step number 4 is release effort, and challenge number 4 is trying too hard. All right, on to number 5. Well, I call this one spiritual perfectionism. You might also call it having expectations. And people often have expectations of their intuition, either because they've observed somebody else or they've learned from somebody else, and they see how intuition looks for that person, and they think, well, that's how it should be for everyone, and that's how it should be for me. So, for example, maybe somebody who sees or hears. Well, maybe you don't do either of those things. Maybe you're better at knowing, and so. But you can get hooked into, well, I'm not doing it right because I'm not doing it like this person. Or you had an experience yourself that was amazing, and so you want to recreate that same experience. And if you don't, then that's not good enough. So we get into this spiritual perfectionism. And actually there's two sides of that coin. There's the side of the coin when we say, well, I'm fantastic because this happened to me and that happened to me and I've got all these stories of my intuition. Or we can say, I am just crap at this. I'm terrible. I'm awful. And I wish I could be more like this person or that person. Or you're better at it than me. Or only special people can do it and I'm not one of them. Or I am, but why isn't everybody recognizing my specialness? So there are just many ways you can set this up, this idea of expectations and going into competition with yourself and with other people about it. So spiritual perfectionism, or having expectations about your intuition, is another big issue because it stops you from accepting yourself exactly as you are. So step number 5 that you need to take is let go of expectations, because expectations stop you having the experience that you are having right here, right now. And it can cause you to invalidate yourself and judge yourself, actually. So let go of your expectations and embrace your unique style of intuition, because everyone is different. So just because a particular guru has taught you a particular expectation, it doesn't mean that that is the way for you. All right, now on to number 6, being afraid. Fear is such a big one. There are so many things that people are afraid of when it comes to their intuition. Maybe it's the work of the devil and I'll be damned in hell because they've had some religious programming. Or maybe they have had to perform so much in their life and live up to so many expectations that they're afraid of failure. What if I fail? What if I suck? Or what if I start to lose touch with reality? And what if other people see that and I get called crazy? I get locked away because I'm crazy, because I'm seeing and hearing things. What if I see something really, really scary? How will I handle it? I'm really afraid of that. What if I have a premonition and I see an event or an accident? Aren't I responsible for that? I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to have the burden of being aware of all of these things. And what if, as my awareness increases, I get to re-experience some painful things that happened in my past that I've been burying, that I'm afraid to open that Pandora's box, because what if I can't cope with that? And what if I can't cope with the power I unleash? What if I do something abominable with my power? and and what if I change so much by opening my intuition that it affects the people around me and they don't love me anymore, and I'm alone and I'm an outcast and I'm banished from society, and I don't want to be alone. I'm afraid of being alone. And there's a lot more that I probably haven't listed here, but you get the picture. I'm sure you have your own fears, your own reasons for being afraid of your intuition. So step number 6, and keep writing these down: banish fear. Banish fear. The fear is worse than the thing that you're afraid of. And believe me, there is nothing to be afraid of in your intuition. Your intuition is a way that you communicate with who you really are, which is a beautiful being of love and light and power and energy. So banish your fear, because if you're afraid of your intuition, you're afraid of yourself. Well, here's the first one. People often say to me, you know what, I'm just too busy. I don't have any time to devote to this, to learn to meditate, to have a regular practice that helps me access my intuition. How can I possibly find the time when my life is this busy and I am so stressed out, running here, there and everywhere, looking after the children, looking after my parents, doing my job? I have all these responsibilities and so many other people are relying on me. I don't have 5 minutes to myself, let alone half an hour or an hour a day. My goodness me, how could you expect me to do that? And you know what? Even if I did, I wouldn't be able to sit still for 5 minutes. Or some people say, well, I've tried meditating, but I'm so exhausted from my busy life that I just fall asleep. And some other problems are, well, I'd like to do it, but I'm not very consistent because of my busy life. I really can't do it on a regular basis. Or I do want to do it, but I just put it off because there's this more urgent thing that I need to do. And so people these days have experienced really busy lives. Or at least doubting your intuition. So write down, step number 7 is I need to trust my intuition. And of course, now let's just go over them. So here's the 7 things that we've said, the 7 key steps to experience your intuition. Develop a consistent practice, quiet your mind, calm your emotions, release effort, let go of perfection, overcome your fears, and learn to trust your intuition. So out of those 7, maybe you can put them in order. Which one is the biggest challenge for you? And what's your top 3? What are your top 3 challenges? The top 3 steps that would really, really help you make a shift when it comes to your intuition. And of course, it's one thing to get through all of those challenges and now be validating your intuition. It is a whole other thing to follow your intuition. Because just imagine this scenario. Your intuition is telling you, I should leave my husband. Well, it's one thing to know that. It's a complete other thing to actually do it, isn't it? Or your doctor's telling you you need to have your gallbladder removed and your uterus, and your intuition is telling you you don't. It's a whole other thing, isn't it, to choose your intuition over the advice of somebody else. So following your intuition, if you want to write down point number 8, it's, well, now I trust my intuition. How can I act on it? How can I follow it? So I'm going to finish up now with just one final quote, and it is a quote from Nikola Tesla, another scientist who used his intuition extensively, actually. And he said, "My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I haven't penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists." And it does. And we're all capable of plugging into that core of knowledge and information. And we're all capable of knowing anything we need or wish to know to help us live our lives. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this free series on the healing power of intuition. I hope you've enjoyed this last segment on some steps that you can take to awaken your own intuition. And I want to invite you to take it another step further, because I've been able to give you some general steps, which I know from working with a lot of people that these tend to be the things that are the biggest challenges. But how does that apply to you? How does it apply to you in your life? I'd love to talk to you about that. So I'm inviting you to book a complimentary session with me to discuss what you learned in the course about yourself and what your specific challenges are. And then if I can help make some suggestions about what further steps that you can take, then I would like to help you in that way. So all you have to do to book a free consult with me is there's a page on my website that's book a session. And there's a booking calendar, and you can just choose free course consult and set up a time to chat with me. And I would really love to meet you in person. I guess it feels like you've met me a little bit, but I would love to meet with you and to get to know you. So please take me up on it. It's free. Why not?